During this session, we'll be going over the tools of a successful fly fisher and safety tips for when you go out on the water. Please note that in all reality, all you need is a fishing rod and some flies, but the point of this lesson is to go over the gear you'll find in the marketplace and items that will help you with your fishing adventure, as well as tips to make sure you're safe on your next memorable trip. You're probably thinking that the first thing we're going to talk about are the flies you just purchased, or if you've never fly fished before, the type of rod you might want to use. Well, we'll get into all of that, but first I want to start with the basics, the stuff that's going to help you when you get out on the water. The first thing I'd like to discuss is relatively simple. It is a hat, and it's probably one of my favorite tools in the water. It protects you from mosquitoes, from sun, from foul hooks. It's also handy for a dip into the river on a hot day to soak your head. Always grab a hat when you're heading out to the water. I like to keep an extra one in my truck just in case, and I always pack an extra one in my bag. Second thing we're going to talk about are sunglasses. I recommend polarized sunglasses. Polarized sunglasses cut the glare off the top of the water, making it easier to spot fish and also be able to see your fly on the water. They also protect your eyes from the harmful UV rays and also from foul hooks. I also recommend getting rope retainers to go with your sunglasses in case you fall into the water. There's nothing worse than getting wet and then finding out you lost your favorite pair of shades. Raincoat. Yes, another item that sounds elementary, but you'd be surprised how fast a storm can move in on you. And if you're out in the water and having a blast catching fish, you don't want a little rain to ruin your day. Also, the biggest fish I ever caught was in the middle of a downpour. The vest. This, in essence, is a fly fisher's tool belt. The classic is a typical vest that has numerous pockets for flies, lines, weights, and any other small item you might need. In recent years, companies have also come out with amazing day packs, waist packs, and chest packs. Check out what was out there to see what fits your style best. Waders. These are thick, waterproof pants that keep you dry throughout the day. When I first started fishing, I thought I could do with just an old pair of shoes and some shorts. But I soon found out that I got cold long before I was able to get to where the fish were rising. After I was gifted my first set of waders, I was able to fish long past sundown. They're not necessary, but I highly recommend them. There are two basic types of waders, neoprene and synthetic. Neoprene waders are very durable and great for extremely cold conditions. Synthetic waders are lightweight and semi-breathable. Depending on where you live or where you're headed for your next fishing trip, you might be better off with one over the other. Just like a regular pair of pants, the quality will differ from one company to the next. So I recommend going to your local fly shop and trying on a few pairs to see what you like best. Most shops have huge discounts in September and October, so look for the best deals then. This brings us to the wader belt. It is one of the most important tools that you can have out on the water. If you're going to be wearing waders, you definitely need a belt. Water's dangerous. It's beautiful, it's magical, but it can take a life as quickly as it passes by. There have been 2 times in my life when I've truly been scared in the river. First time, I was very young. I was in about a foot of water and I got swept off my feet. I got really nervous, but luckily a friend was nearby and grabbed me by my hair and lifted me up. The second time, I was a little bit older and I was out fishing a little bit further in the water than I should have been. Stepped into a hole. Next thing you know, water started flowing over the top of my waders and I wasn't wearing a belt. And it kind of acted like cement boots kind of dragging me down. So always wear a belt. This will help keep gallons of water from filling your shoes if you happen to slip into a deep hole. Wader boots. These are boots designed to go over your waders. Some waders come with boots already on them, and these are great for things like duck hunting and if you're in really cold weather, but they can be cumbersome if you're hiking around looking for the perfect hidden spot. Think of wading boots as you would hiking shoes. They come in all styles and shapes and offer a variety of levels of support. I prefer a high-top boot with a good ankle support to help me navigate rocks and terrain on the river. The soles on these boots also come with multiple options of grip. Rubber soles. These are great for being on a drift boat or a raft, or when you plan on hiking long distances. Spiked rubber soles. Great for icy conditions, but not great for moss or clean rocks. But don't plan on getting on a boat unless you plan on walking home. Felt. My favorite sole. Felt is the best all-around sole for slippery rocks on the river. It's also great for boats because it won't pop the seal. When the felt hits the water, it acts as an additional grip that sticks to slime, ice, mud, sand, and pretty much anything else your foot might come in contact with when you're out in the water. Combo soles. Some soles are felt with spikes, some have rubber and felt, some have spikes on top of spikes. There's a billion combinations out there. I recommend starting with felt and then experimenting with other soles as soon as you feel more comfortable on the water. The net. The one tool that's going to help you land that fish. The type of fish that you're fishing for will determine the size of net you'll need. Classic fishing nets are made of wood and fabric, but nowadays you can find nets made of larger thresholds and clear rubber netting. I found that the clear rubber netting is fantastic. Your fly doesn't get stuck inside and the net becomes almost invisible underwater, so you don't scare the fish as you're trying to scoop it up. There are numerous companies on the market making nets, and they're a great tool to add to your fishing arsenal. But some people ask, how do I carry a net around all day while I'm fly fishing? Well, easy. You can place the net inside your back pant pocket, or you can get a zinger. Zingers are hooks that connect to your vest. I love these things. I know where my net is at all times, and it's easy to hook it back on after I've landed a fish. The fly box. It carries your flies. Don't worry, you're all set. Clippers. These are also known as teeth savers. It's a handy tool to clip your line after making a knot. Forceps or clamps. These are great for clamping on split shot, pulling small flies out of your fly box, and most importantly, retrieving your fly out of a fish's mouth after you've caught it. I typically carry 2 because at least once during every trip I accidentally drop them in the water, and sometimes I'm in a deep section where they're impossible to find. Slip shot or weights. These come in a variety of sizes and shapes, and they're essential with the Drifthook fly fishing system. I'm a fan of the bead weights, but some people prefer twists. This item comes down to personal preference. Floatant. Floatant is a liquid or powder that helps keep your dry fly above water longer. I use Gink because it was the first to come out over 30 years ago. There are numerous varieties on the market, so experiment with them, see which one you like best. The indicator. Like many things in fly fishing, you'll find 1,000 different types of these. I recommend using clear bobbers because they're virtually invisible to fish below the surface. Colored bobbers are great for beginners. They help you see the action of the line on the water. Fish get deterred or excited by these unnatural colors on the water. I can't tell you how many times I've had a pink bobber on and the fish has come up and tried to eat it thinking it was a meal. After switching over to a clear bobber, I caught bigger and larger quantities of fish. Leaders. These connect your line that then connect to the tippet and then to your fly. We'll go into detail about setting up your rod in future lessons. Tippet. Tippet is what you use to tie your fly onto your leader. The greatest innovation of fly fishing in the last 20 years has been the release of fluorocarbon tippet. Even though it doesn't have the same flex strength as monofilament tippet, it is completely invisible in water. I've tested both types and have captured more fish and larger fish on fluorocarbon than on monofilament. To save on my fishing expenses, I'll often purchase a monofilament leader, then add a fluorocarbon tippet. We'll go into detail in the line review in Lesson 5 on this series of how to connect all these together and how to connect them to your line.